Hey everybody, we're back. It's episode 22. Deuces, 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 deuces. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Can you believe it's the 22nd episode? Holy crap, man. And we're cranking them out, guys. We're cranking them out because we're going on vacation and we don't want to miss a week. So we want to give back to the people and we don't want to have a missing episode because I don't want to hear it.
We have the creative meal working overtime.
It's cranking them out, dude. Cranking them out. So anyway, thank you for joining us again on episode 22. This past Sunday was Mother's Day.
Quickly.
Yes. And it was amazing.
Yes, it was.
I had so much fun. And it's so funny because over the years it gets a lot different every year.
Sure.
So before it was like, got to make a reservation. We got to go, wait in line for like an hour to go eat at, where did we used to eat? What was that Mexican restaurant called?
Which one? Ricardo's?
No. The one with the brunch. El Torito. They had a bomb-ass brunch, champagne brunch.
Mother's Day brunch.
Yeah. And, it was so good. Menudo. It had conchas. It had, oh man, so much good food.
Fresh omelets, with fresh ingredients.
Yeah. Yeah, but then it went to hell in a handbag. So, and then the wait and the food was terrible now. And anyway, and then so we would, hop around and do, different restaurants. And now, the kids are like, what do you want to do? Because now they're like, we don't even want to plan anything. Let's just like ask mommy what she wants to do. And I'm like, finally. It took only 30 years to ask me that. Because Tayson's what, 30?
Yeah.
Finally. And I said, I want to go to Drew's house. I want to lay out by the pool. And I want to have yummy food and do presents and the end. I want to lay in the sun like a goddamn lizard and get a pre-tan before we go on vacation.
And we did.
And that's what we did.
And it was awesome.
And it was.
It was. I loved the conversation.
It was so fun. Reggae music, hanging out.
Just us.
Gardening. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And you finally listened. No, I'm just kidding. I had mentioned, hey babe, you want to hear something funny? I saw this like chair, this lounge chair that you can put out by the pool. And it was my invention in my head, like years ago. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, I want to take a massage table, but I want to turn it into a lounge chair. Because the massage table has that hole for your face. Yeah. I want that in a lounge chair when I'm laying out at the beach or by the pool. Yeah. So I can just lay down and tan my back, right? My backside. But then I can read a book or be on my phone. Yeah. Right? But I didn't even think, I just thought, you just put your hands around your, face is in the hole.
You're not going to be able to read.
Well, yeah. Well, you can. Well, kind of. Right? This is what I'm thinking. And then I saw this ad. I don't know. Was it on Instagram or something? And I said, oh my gosh, they have it with the face missing or the hole punched out. And he was like, oh, okay. And that's what he got me for Mother's Day. But get this, not only it folds up too, right?
Sure.
So it's
really
easy
nice
to transport.
Yeah.
But not only does it have a hole for the face, it has holes for the arms. I'm like, that's genius. I could put my arms in there and now I can have my phone lay on my stomach and I could read or I can be on my phone. Yeah. It's freaking awesome, dude. I cannot wait to use it. And I would have busted it out at Drew's house the other day, but she just bought brand new like lounge chairs for like patio furniture or whatever it's called for the by the pool. So I didn't have to bust it out. But you bet your sweet ass that thing's coming out all summer. It's gonna be awesome. I need to get back to reading. I've been taking a hiatus on reading because I've been so busy. Yeah. But I'm excited. I was really excited. And the kids got me some kick-ass gifts. One of them is here on the table, you guys.
Funko Pop.
It's a personalized Funko Pop. Get this. Pan in on this. That's me with my clear glasses, which I don't have right now, and you can't see right here, but that's my little Darla. My little multi-poo, and she's the perfect dog, the most perfect dog on the planet. She's my little white crusty dog because every family needs one. But it's me with my blonde hair, my glasses, and a goddamn phone in my hand because I always have my phone in my hand. And it says, Mommy and Darla. Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
Oh, my gosh. Which is another interesting fact is that I was going to get one of those for all of the kids for Valentine's Day. And I had them in my car, and then I forgot about it. I forgot to buy them. And when I remembered, it was like 2 days before Valentine's Day. And I was like, well, it's not going to come on time now. So anyway, and I don't know if you can see the flowers down there, but the kids got me flowers, and they got me a lot of flowers. And I just brought the shortest one in here. But yeah, I had a blast.
Yeah.
I had a fucking blast.
Jason was so excited to give you that.
I know.
She couldn't wait.
So cute. Well, and speaking of phones, Drew got me a brand new phone because, and it was so funny. Drew and Billy got me a phone. And then Billy goes, yeah, now you can stop complaining about your phone. And it made me laugh because I'm always like, you know, my literal phone will be right here. And then Jason will like come in the house. I was out in the driveway waiting for you. Why didn't you answer your phone? And I look at my phone, nothing. I'm like, God damn it. So, but I thought it was funny because Billy never says anything. He just chills and he just nods his head and he goes, yeah, now you can stop. And he didn't say it mean. He just goes, now you can stop complaining about your phone. And I was like, if he says something, that means I'm complaining way too much. So I was like, fuck.
Well, it hasn't been working right, so.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I thought it was hilarious because he never says anything.
Yeah.
And then when he does, I'm like,
Yeah. It's hilarious. It's what's hilarious is when you're yelling at your phone.
I know.
It's supposed to be
Like it's a human.
Why are you not doing?
Why don't you do your job? You have one job and it's to ring. Speaking of which, because I haven't switched it over yet because I've been so busy and I needed a case. My case finally came in today, but this morning my alarm went off on my phone and I said, all right, 15 more minutes because I wanted to cuddle with you because I had to get up early. And then because we had to go to the studio. Yeah. And I snoozed it, and my snoozes for like 9 minutes. Why 9? I don't know. If anybody knows how to fix that and make it 15 minutes, let me know. But so I did that, and then the next thing, your alarm was going off, and I go, wait a minute, that's not my alarm. And so I woke up, overslept. I slept for another hour, not 15 minutes, an hour. And then I was like, God damn this phone. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to complain about it because I don't want people to make fun of me.
I got a new one.
But I was like, weird. You had one job. One. So anyway, speaking of phones, I literally talk to my phone like it's a human.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
All those apps open, programs running.
Listen, I close you, not me.
Those apps open.
He has a phone that works and it's in perfect condition. He doesn't even answer the phone, so what the heck, man? Anyway. All right, so let's get into it.
Let's get into today's very first advice edition.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So just a friendly reminder, the first of the month, we're going to do an Am I the Asshole? And the last week of the month, we're going to do Ask the Afualos, the advice edition.
Yes.
So we have several of you guys that wrote in just sporadically, not because you knew we were going to do this, but because we got so many, that's what prompted this idea.
Yeah. So we pulled 4.
We pulled 4.
We pulled 4. None in certain order, whatever. However, we just picked 4 of them. We're going to read them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to give you some sound advice.
Yeah, and tried and true. So we're not going to tell you anything to do that we haven't actually done ourselves with success.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
That's the cool
Personal
thing.
experience.
Yeah.
Personal experience.
And I also want to point out, I like several times a day, we get comments that are like, you're the internet parents. We're our favorite internet parents. And I love that. So Criss-cross applesauce family.
we go.
We are going to get into it and we're going to give you some advice.
Okay.
And also, some of you guys don't have your real names.
Yeah.
So we're just going to say your handles. And one of them, I wrote it down and then I don't remember. I wrote down the question, but I don't remember the name. So I'm going to put anonymous. We're going to talk. This is from anonymous. But if this was you, let us know so that we can acknowledge you later. Yeah. But let's do the first one.
Sure. This was submitted by, is that Skin Therapist? Is that what Skin Therapist? Okay.
I'm hoping you're a dermatologist. Or what do you call it? An esthetician.
She's a tattoo artist.
Ooh, that could be it too. Is it? Is she?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just said Skin Therapist. I was thinking about who could that be.
Right.
Anywho, it says, hey, F5, I've been loving the podcast and I look forward to it every week. Recently, my mother passed away and listening to you guys brings me motivation to keep going. I had a difficult relationship with my mom and listening to how you raise your kids and still care for them Makes me feel like I can be a great mom to my own son. He's 6 years old and his father passed away about 5 years ago. Trying to figure out how to be the best mom I can be has been extremely tough. Sorry for ranting, but here's my real question. How do you stay true to yourself, create your own happiness during times of distress and sadness?
Well, first of all, we're sorry for your loss.
Yes, big time.
And
Yeah, that's
even if you're not close to your parents and they pass away, it doesn't mean you don't love them.
no.
In fact, if you didn't have a close relationship, you're probably wishing you would have.
Yeah.
Most especially when they pass away.
Yeah, now that they're
Yeah.
for sure.
So we're sorry for your loss. That's hard. We've been through a couple losses over the last 2 years too. So we empathize with you so much.
I feel you.
Yeah. Especially when you're a mom and you lose your mom.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that, and so can Tate. But so like for me personally, like right out the gate, her question is, how do you stay true to yourself? Especially when you have kids, man. Oh man, it's so hard, right? And then it's hard to like make sure everybody else is happy, but also create happiness for yourself. And then it's also hard, like, the triple down on that when you're having a rough patch in your life, a death in the family, your life just went sideways for whatever reason. That's hard.
It is very hard.
So for me, when that happens to me, I practice gratitude. And
always helps.
It sounds so corny, you guys, but I'm not even joking. It's really hard to stay stressed out, depressed, whatever the case may be, when you're thinking about all the things that you're grateful for that you have. Not the things that you don't have or the things that you've lost, but the things that you actually have. Like maybe your health, maybe your family members, the house you live in, your car you drive, the job you have. It could be anything. And something as mundane as, like, I remember I was listening to a podcast a while back, and they said, they were talking about gratitude, and they were like, if you do it every day, sometimes you might run out of things to say without being repetitious, right?
Sure.
Saying the same thing all the time. So he started thinking about the little things that we just overlook.
Sure.
But when you really take a look at it, you're like, man, I'm so grateful I had that.
Yeah.
And he said, the sheets that I lay on.
Yeah.
They're so comfortable, and I'm so grateful I have these sheets.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in college, I didn't even have a sheet on my bed.
Sure.
To which I thought, ew.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
I just thought of something too. It's simple. I hope it doesn't sound stupid, but that you opened your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you open your eyes for another day.
Yeah, the running joke I always say is, if anyone says, oh, hey, how are you doing? I'm all, well, I woke up this morning. I'm off to a great start. And it sounds, funny or whatever, but it's true because some people don't wake up.
No.
You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but gratitude, waking up. Hey, man, we could go on for hours about gratitude, but just if you focus on the things that you have and that you're really happy for, even if it's your sheets that you're laying on, it's hard to be down when you're doing that.
Yeah, especially if you start stacking them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
little
for
things,
sure.
Little things.
Yeah. And the other thing too, anytime someone says they're a mom and they're struggling with like happiness or, just feeling like themselves again, because I know, especially having kids so young, I know at times I felt like, and actually it really wasn't so much Dason and Drew because I was so young and then I was going to college and then I had it was just, I was always busy. So I didn't really have time to think about it or ruminate in it.
Sure.
But when I had Donovan, then I started feeling like I was losing myself and I felt like my whole life was everyone else.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I have you, I have 3 kids, I got a job, I got, and then I felt like, fuck, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so anytime someone asks me that has kids and it's like, man, I'm not myself anymore. I don't feel myself. And then you pack on, if you have postpartum, you pack on, if you packed on weight, like, those are real things. So for me, I can't even tell you guys. So skin therapist, going back to you, getting enough sleep and eating healthy it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people go, well, I can't lose weight or I can't. And it doesn't have anything to do with weight. I'm just using this as an example. Most people don't realize, or they don't put 2 and 2 together, or they forget that sleep is part of a healthy regimen.
Yeah, it's not just what you eat or exercise.
You got to unplug your brain.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to reset, and that's by getting sleep. Now, I have kids. I have a job. How do I sleep?
Yeah.
Get in whatever you can. If normally, and when you say I'm not getting sleep, and you've only had like 4 hours of sleep, try to increase it by 15 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, now I slept 4 hours and 15 minutes. Now I slept 4 hours and 30 minutes. You see what I'm saying? And
Sure.
then slowly you'll start building it up. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's a work in progress, and you got to be consistent. But getting sleep and eating healthy. I don't know about anybody else, but you know this about me. If I eat too much sugar, whether it's candy and I'm not a real sweets person, but like if I eat especially, listen, I already act like I'm on crack. I have so much energy all the time.
Yeah, so any kind of candy just amplifies it. Times 10.
If I'm eating it, and the kids will go, did mommy eat candy?
Yeah.
Because I get cracky.
Yeah.
I get so cracky. So if you can cut out, things they don't make you feel good.
Yeah.
Maybe you're lactose intolerant, but you love to eat pizza. Hey man, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Because when your tummy is not feeling right, it automatically hurts your brain.
Yeah.
And
they kind of coincide. They work well together.
It doesn't
do it right.
It totally does.
Sure.
All of your body's functions and everything outside of the brain, but the brain is connected directly to the digestive system. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Everything stems from that.
Sure.
You're like, if you have brain fog, hello? Maybe I do right now. Brain fog. You can't think straight, whatever. That is because your gut is out of whack. I promise. We can go down a whole rabbit hole on this.
Sure.
But get sleep and eat as healthy as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I promise you, especially before you go to bed. Do not eat 2 hours before you go to bed, whatever time that is. No. At least for me, anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no 2 hours on the cell phone either before you go to bed.
That's true too. Right? But, for this, you're trying to stay true to yourself. You're trying to create your own happiness. When you're down, when you're in distress, when you're stressed out. Another one is get outside. Yeah. Go outside, man.
Feel the sun.
Or the rain.
Yeah.
Or the beach. Yeah. It's so important. Like, and if you can't go outside, change your environment. Yeah. Like, go to a different room or go to someone else's house or something. Just change your environment, because that'll kind of help you reset too. Yeah. As like mundane as that sounds, I promise you, it will help you tremendously. And then the last thing I wrote was, do things that make you happy. Yeah. We talked about that in one of our last episodes.
Yeah. What makes you happy?
This is how you don't lose yourself. This is how you create happiness for you. And here's the thing. Here's what I started doing after I had Donovan, because I was like, man, I'm in a dark place right now. I was like down I know I had postpartum, but I didn't know I had it at the time. But looking back now, I'm like, oh, I for sure did. Right. I would put things on my calendar because, I still worked. So I had things on my calendar that were just for me. And the reason why I say put them on your calendar with a reminder, like whether it's a ring or whatever, make a meeting request to yourself, because you'll keep it like you're going to go see a client or you have a doctor's appointment or whatever. Yeah. That goes for the gym too. Yeah. If you put it on your calendar with reminders, then it's harder to kind of get out of it mentally. I guess that's the way it was for me. So I would do things that make me happy, which was going to the beach, going to the gym, or even just reading. I remember I was being interviewed for something. It was some award I was winning, like when I was at WTS. And they interviewed you first, right? So they can kind of like introduce you when you're getting your award. And they asked, and then we were doing a video to show up on the screen. And one of the questions was, if you had more time, what would be the first thing you would do? What would you do?
Right.
What would you do? Because at the time I was working like 80, 90 hours a week.
Sure.
Like, but if you had more time, what would you do?
Like right now? Like living wise, you're talking about, right?
Just in general.
Yeah. I wouldn't take it for granted. Yeah. I would just use every minute of it.
No, I know. But what would you do with the minutes that you had?
Just spend it with family.
Okay.
That's it.
That's not what I said. I said I would read. because I love reading. So I was like, I wish I had more time to read, and I cannot read at night. I'm the one that falls asleep in the first 5 minutes, right? So I like to read, and I wished I had more time to read.
Sure.
Right? And now I do. So anyway, do things that make you happy, because that's going to create your own happiness. And here's the most important part of that. Now, everything that we just said, and you can chime in here too, babe.
Yeah.
Is that if you do things that make you happy, you have to remind yourself that you cannot feel guilty about doing something that makes you happy. Because moms, especially, we feel guilty if we don't want to eat with you. I don't want to share my food with my toddler. I don't want to watch my toddler's Bluey show. I want to lay in bed. I want to eat In-N-Out, and I want to watch The Bear.
Sure.
Or, I don't know, Sex in the City or whatever. Some dumb show that it's your guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Like you love watching Love on the Spectrum.
I do. It's my favorite show.
But you love to watch it for you.
Big time.
Right?
Yeah.
But as moms, we feel guilty if we do something even that small and insignificant for ourselves.
I understand that.
You know?
I understand that. But you're obviously you're saying, but you shouldn't. You know, it's for you. It's your time. Like make time for you. That's your time.
Exactly.
And in a sense, you have to be selfish.
But it's not selfish.
It's not selfish.
That's what I'm saying. See?
No.
The dad is like, it's not selfish. I don't even want you to put that word in your head at all.
Yeah.
It is self-care.
For you and you only.
It doesn't mean you're a selfish person.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you have to remind yourself that, especially moms, because, especially when we have small children as well, because we do everything for everyone else. We put everyone else before us, before our own health, before our own happiness. And you know what? If mama's not happy, nobody's happy. So just remember, that when you do things for you, you're actually doing it for your family.
For yourself. Yeah, exactly.
No, for your family.
Yeah,
when you take care of you, you do it for your family.
Yeah.
Perfect example. This guy tricked me into going to the doctors because I was working so much. I was so stressed out. My hair was falling out. I started getting these weird rashes on the back of my neck. I'll put it up here so you can see the picture of the rash on my neck. And I had it on my forearms and my thighs. It was just weird. I went to 5 different doctors, and then I was like, whatever. No one could figure out what it was. And then he's like, you know what? I'm taking you. Let's go to breakfast. Let's play hooky from work today. And I go, okay. But then we went to the doctor. And I'm like, what? Why are you? I was so mad. I go, why are you taking me to the doctor? He goes, because you're not taking care of yourself. And if I don't trick you into going to the doctor, you'll never go. At that point, then I went to 5 other doctors after that, not before. But the point of that is my doctor, he had already talked to him, and he said, I'm putting you on 6 weeks medical leave. You have to leave work for 6 weeks. And I was like, so first of all, I'm crying because I'm like pissed because I had so much stuff at work ready, big jobs, whatever. And then I thought, oh my gosh. And then I was like, whatever, why did you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, because if you're the center of our family, and if something happens to you and you're not healthy, none of us are going to be happy. Like everything's going to fall to shit. And I need you to take care of yourself. Remember that?
I do.
So thank you for that, because that's not a joke. I probably would be very, very sick, or I would be dead because of the way I was running and gunning, and I didn't shut my brain off and get some sleep and eat right and exercise and all that other stuff. So that being said, when you take care of yourself, it's not being selfish. No. It's self-care.
Trying to understand who your true self is so you can be honest with yourself about knowing what that is. Because once you know what that is, it's easy to stay there.
I'm not following you.
Well, because she wants to know how to stay true to herself. Well, what is that to you? And remember that. That's always going to be with you.
Yeah, you got to figure out what that means for you. Yeah. So for me, like I just said, I was thinking, I don't know who I am anymore. I feel like I'm living everyone else's life and not the life that I want to live. So if that's what you're talking about, then you need to write it down and really think about what it is that you can start doing now. Maybe you can't do everything, but maybe you can start with the little things and then work your way up. Right. So I hope that helps.
I hope that helps.
Let us know if it did. But don't let us know if it didn't.
I felt pretty good about it.
Okay, this next one is the one I said is anonymous because I forget. I didn't write down the name of this. So if this is you, please let us know in the comments. She says, I have an almost 8-year-old son who's unfortunately in a 2-household family. However, more parents to love. So still have the parents, but just separate households.
Mm-hmm.
His dad and I have a complicated relationship, but lately it has been very consistent and equal with our rules in each household.
Awesome.
Very important.
Awesome.
Co-parenting. Love
Yeah.
it. Right? My question is, how do I change the feeling of guilt at the end of the day? Whether it was a good or bad day, I'm scared that he thinks I don't love him, meaning her son.
Sure.
I love you guys, and I'm so grateful for you and your daughters, and Donnie Dumps, obviously. Can't forget Donnie Dumps. So again, this is kind of in the same vein as the first one. Similar with a small child.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I just want to kick it off by saying, first and foremost, kudos to you and your ex for keeping it down, keeping it going. And staying positive around your son regarding your ex. Okay. And that goes both ways.
Sure.
For him as well. So I want to make sure that you guys are always staying positive about each other in front of your son.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't bash. Don't do any of that.
Sure.
Because you said you have a complicated relationship with your ex. I just want to put that out there.
Right.
Okay. Nothing ever good comes from like dragging your kid in the middle of your shit. Right. They didn't ask for that.
It's not about
shit.
you anymore.
Yeah. And it's not their shit. It's your shit. Right.
Yeah. It's not about you anymore.
So I'm sure you're doing that though. I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure that's the case.
Just in case. But the number one thing I want to talk about in this scenario, because man, did I have mom guilt.
We all had it.
Oh, you had it. I had it.
It was awful.
It was awful. But I can tell you this, and this is what I learned in therapy. Remember, we're not going to give you advice we haven't tried ourselves that is successful, or that isn't successful. Practicing self-compassion, being nice to yourself, because no one can be mean to me or meaner than I am to myself. No one, right?
Yeah.
But here's the trick on making sure, because I'm like, I'm not going to be nice to myself. What the hell, you know? I deserve it. I messed up here.
Such a piece of crap.
Yeah, I picked up my son late. Oh my God, he probably hates me, or whatever.
Why do I work so much?
It's just ongoing, right? But here's how I get through it: being mean to myself, and not being practicing self-compassion. I ask myself, would I say these things to my kids?
Yeah, as advice.
Yeah, you see. So if I'm doing self-talk, and it's negative self-talk, and I'm saying, you piece of shit, you fucked this up.
Right.
You were late picking up the kids. You didn't even make dinner, and you forgot to grocery shop. You idiot. Would you say that to your son?
I'm gonna say no.
Would you say that to your daughter?
No.
Right? I'm such a fat piece of shit. Would you say that to your children? If the answer is yes, you got other problems. But I'm gonna guess that your answer is no.
No.
So in order for me to practice self-compassion, I have to ask myself, would I say these things to my children or my best friend or my mom or whoever, right?
And the answer is obviously not, right?
You
I would
shouldn't.
Not. So then you say, well, why would you say it to yourself?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, that coupled with, again, prioritizing self-care.
Yes.
Okay? Because the mom guilt is going to get you every time. It doesn't go away, but you have to manage it.
Yeah, it's managing it.
Right.
Is the key. It's always going to be
because it's always going to creep up. And one of the, we just talked about negative thoughts. Those are going to creep up all the time.
And they're going to change and they're going to get harder and they're going to get.
Exactly. So you have to also challenge those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Are these thoughts true? Am I a lousy piece of shit? Well, no.
No, I'm not.
Right?
Yeah.
You're not. Because if you were, you wouldn't even care about all this stuff.
No.
You wouldn't care if you messed up. You wouldn't care, but you're a good person, and that's why this bothers you.
Yeah.
Right? So, and by the way, the guilt is not only at the end of the day for me. Well, it wasn't for me. It was morning, noon, and night. But you got to do what you got to do. You got to work. You got to put food on the table. And guess what? It will all work out in the end. You just got to know you're a good person. And kids, man, they don't see the shit we see.
No.
They're not overcritical of us like we are about ourselves.
I was going to say, the kid loves you, man. Even though you don't think it, even though you're thinking the worst of yourself, I'm telling you right now, he loves you. You're his mom and you take good care of him. You have a great relationship with your ex and him, and he has all these other parents. You guys love him. That's a fact. So there's no need going down that road.
Right.
The good or bad days, they are what they are. They happen. That's life.
Well,
I think what we did a lot too as a family is we tried to have family dinner.
no, we did. We made it. That was a rule in our house.
Right.
Even when they had practice, we would eat at 10 o'clock at night
Sure.
around the table or in the car.
What I was getting to is we played that glad game with our kids, and that helped us feel better of not feeling guilty of dragging them all over the place. Homework, soccer practice, barely enough time to sleep, get up and go to school again, do it all over again. You know, I felt super guilty about all that stuff, but we did things like that to make us like, no, man, we're good parents.
Yeah. So the glad game, if you're new to the podcast, the glad game is you ask your kids, hey, let's play the glad game. Well, first we would do high-low. So high-low is, you know, hey, what was your high today? Oh, I got 100% on a test. Yeah. Nice. What was your low today? Oh, you know, so-and-so didn't let me play with them or something like that. And then I'm like, oh, and then you have something to talk about. What do you mean? What happened?
Yeah.
Walk me through that. First validate them, man, I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell you. They won't be like, what'd you do today? Nothing. How did you feel today? Fine.
Can I go to my room now?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't give our kids a chance to talk to us like that, right? We wanted to make sure that we asked them. So the glad game, I don't even know if did we talk about the glad game in another podcast?
I think I'm not sure.
We did the high-low.
We did the high-low.
So the glad game is this, and we didn't make this up. We got it from the movie Pollyanna on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up. It's a banger. Yeah. It's an Afualos
series.
It's not a series.
I'm just kidding.
It's an Afualos classic.
It's not a series. I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, you're thinking of Anne of Green Gables. We watched the corniest shit.
Pippi Longstocking.
Damn, you dated yourself on that one. Oh man, you remember Pippi Longstocking?
Yeah.
Dude, Pippi Longstocking was the
never
tits,
missed
man.
It. I never
she
missed
was so strong.
I never missed it.
Dude, Pippi Longstocking was my hero. I'm like, that's me. And I remember I was Pippi Longstocking in the 6th grade for Halloween.
Her dad was awesome.
I might have to bring that back for Halloween. That's actually kind of cool. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Squirrel. Shit, what was I talking about? Oh, the glad game. The glad game was in Pollyanna. And all she talked about was, I'm going to spoiler alert. She fell out of a tree and she was paralyzed from the waist down. But then she was like, well, I'm glad I have friends. I'm glad I have this. I'm glad I have that. And her little friend, I think it was Kurt Russell, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And he was like maybe 6 or 7 in this movie. Young. Anyway, he goes, well, you can't even walk.
Yeah.
And she was like, so I'm glad I have these little prisms hanging in my window. I'm glad I have this. I'm glad I have that. And so I was like, damn, I'm gonna steal that, and we're gonna do that with our kids.
And we did.
So when they did the high-low, anytime they had a low, and we was like, okay, cool, let's play the glad game. And they'd be like, I'm glad, whatever. Anyway, we got really off topic here, but kind of not. But anyway, going back to this, your kid will love you.
Yeah.
They just want you to show up. Think about this. I had a brain blast right now. Think about this. Think about all the kids who have shitty parents. And even if they show them just a little bit of attention, they're like, oh my God, my dad's the best. My mom's the best.
Yeah.
Even though they're a piece of shit, your kids will love you regardless. They're just hardwired like that.
And they are. That's why I said they love you.
So you being hard on yourself, that's self-inflicted. So you got to figure that out, right? And then, of course, as with the other ones, practice gratitude.
Yeah.
Be grateful that you have your son and he's healthy and that you're starting to work out your relationship with your ex.
Yeah. Smooth, consistent. That's good.
Yeah.
All good things.
Play the glad game.
Yeah, man.
Okay. If this was you, please let us know who this is.
Yeah.
So this one, you want to go ahead and do it?
Sure. It was submitted by Chic Sabrina. Is that?
That's what it said.
Do you have advice on how to be memorable when trying to network with people you don't see every day and how to maintain connections? I remember a lot of people, but have had a problem where they don't remember me back, whether it's former classmates, teachers, and now in the workplace and everyday life. How do I maintain these connections after meeting them without being annoying? It's embarrassing thinking, oh, we met and I know you through so-and-so, for them to reply, they don't remember me. Embarrassing. I know how you feel. I'm with you on that. I won't do it.
If someone told me they don't remember, I'm like, yeah, you do. Just kidding.
You turned it around.
I've had that happen to me. They're like, and it's always a man, and they go, and I go, huh, and then I won't say anything, and then they're embarrassed, and then they figure out who I am, and they're like, oh yeah. Anyway. But I like this submittal because I am the master networker. I have and I've talked about it before. Yeah. And listen, that's not me being cocky. That's just me being confident because I really honed my craft.
Yeah, big time.
But at the beginning, this was my problem people, I was a male dominated industry. They would look at me and go, who's this young girl? She doesn't know shit, right? In their head. And then they would just be so dismissive to me.
I bet they felt your good energy though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But then
because you always have good energy.
Yeah. But then it turned creepy every fucking time, right? Yeah. Men always tend to think that you're into them or you're sending them signals when you're nice to them. The hell? Anyway, I digress.
That's actually a normal reaction.
I know.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Just kidding. I want to know. No, but I mean, seriously, like at the beginning, no one knew who I was. They never remembered me. And then it was embarrassing when I go, oh yeah. And they're like, there's nothing worse than when someone going, hey, nice to meet you. And you're like, the fuck? I met this guy 3 times already. And then a lot of times I thought, he's just doing it to me on purpose because I won't give in to his stupid advances. You know what I mean? And so when they would say that, I just get pissed at it and I would go, yeah, we met 3 times already. And then they feel so embarrassed, especially if it's in front of someone else, like you're in a circle of people networking or whatever. And I go, oh, really? We've met 3 times already. And they go, I'm not. And I go, oh, no, it's okay. I'm not a priority. Anyway. And then
you're not going to embarrass me.
Yeah, I'm going to embarrass you first. And
it's so smooth, though. I know. It's so smooth.
Because I
couldn't do it, but it's so smooth.
Because he's seen me do it.
I have seen you do it. And I want to run and hide when I hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah!
Yeah. I'm like, oh. And I've also been on the giving end of that, too. Because sometimes I forget. Not sometimes, a lot. And if I don't have Evelyn is like my Andy in The Devil Wears Prada. She'd be like leaning over going, that's so-and-so from so-and-so. And I go, okay, cool, But if she's not with me, I'm like, shit, right? And so I have to make up names or to connect them, right? And when someone goes, oh, yeah, we met at the last event. And I said, you know what, you're right. And I'm so glad you called me out on that. That sucks. I'm so sorry. And they go, oh my God, no, don't worry, blah, blah, blah. And then, but I don't 100% do it for them to make them feel good. I do it for me so I can remember that I was embarrassed and this girl is named whatever and it rhymes with this and then blah, blah, blah. And then I remember her. So the next time I see her, I never forget her. So I actually do it to embarrass myself so that I remember.
I think you went a little too fast.
What? Oh, this isn't her problem yet.
Okay.
But if you become so popular and that happens to you and you forget someone, you're going to remember that you didn't like feeling like that. And so you're going to say, oh my gosh, you're totally right. I'm so sorry. What an asshole, right? If they seem like the person you can like cuss in front of, I'm such an asshole. I'm so sorry. And I remember you now. And then they're like, oh, don't worry. It's fine. And then I'm like, yes, okay, I know what her name is. Bam. Her name is Mindy, and it rhymes with Cindy, and Cindy's in the Brady Bunch. Bam, I got it. And I embarrassed myself. That's how I remember, okay? But you're not there yet. So let's back it up a little. Here's the first piece of advice, okay? Yeah. So if your problem right now is that people don't really remember you because you don't see them very often, here's what you do. You say your name, always say your first and last name. If you're a woman or a femme presenting, you always say your first and last. Why? Because if you ever watch a man introduce himself, he always says his first and last name. So one of my mentors always said, always say your first and last name. And if they say your name wrong, correct them right then and there. Right. It's so uncomfortable when you first do it. So anyway, say your first and last name. If they say your name wrong, they would say, oh, nice to meet you, Nicole. Oh, no.
They do that all the time. That's the first.
Yeah. And I say, weird. I go, oh, no, I don't know how the fuck anybody gets Nicole from Noel, but whatever, because it starts with an N. I don't know. The new one that they're calling me now is Noah.
Noah.
Way to go, Noah. I'm all, thanks, Brad. Oh, no, my name's Tony. I know. I've done that too. Anyway, I could do a whole podcast on that. I have fucked men up at industry events so many times. Anyway, okay, sorry. We're getting off track. Yeah. Say your name, your first and last name, in a way that they won't forget it. Right. So here's an example. Hi, my name is Noel Afualos. And they're like, oh, nice to meet you. What did you say your first name was again? And I said, Noel, like Christmas, the first Noel. And they go, oh, works every time.
In fact, I've heard you say it and I've heard people reply with, I won't forget that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I'm never going to forget your name. And they never call me Nicole. Nope. But if I just, if I don't care enough, I just go, hey, my name's Noel. And they go, oh, okay. All right, Nicole, it's nice to see you. But then I'll turn around and go, it's Noel. like the first Christmas, right? Get it? And they're, oh my God. And then they get embarrassed, right? So say it, say it in a way that they won't forget, and then attach a unique fact about yourself, right? And this takes a lot of practice, you guys, but I'm telling you, it'll work. So I'll give you an example. Hey, my name's Noelle, Afualos. And they're, oh, nice to meet you, Noelle. And I go, yeah, like Noelle, like the first Christmas. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you I'm the first Polynesian person you've ever met. And they go, no, it's not. Yeah. My neighbor is like Hawaiian. And I go, no way. What's their last name? And then they'll tell me, and I go, oh, I don't know that last name, but I'm not Hawaiian. I'm Samoan, but, you know, Polynesian, you know, tomato. And they're like, oh my God, okay. The next time I see him, they're like, there she is, the Polynesian girl, the first Polynesian girl. And they'll make a joke or whatever. Sure. That's my example. It's good. So try to figure that out. So like, what would you say?
Like I would be a little.
Would you say tater tot?
I would not. I don't know where that came from. No,
nobody forgets your big ass. That's the thing. He's 6'6", so no one's gonna forget him.
They don't even need to know my name.
That's right. They're like that big brown dude in the corner, because Tate was always in the corner when I take him to an event.
Yeah,
but I just said tater tot because they're small.
It's tater tot. Tater tot's my son.
Yes. Is tater tot their son? Anyways, Karina, look it up.
Anyways, I was gonna say, what are those conversations like what she was describing? And if you don't know how to do it, or if you want an easier way to do it, you just ask. Like, I truly believe everyone likes talking about themselves.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because it's, especially in a setting like this, because it's easy for them. They don't have to think of the words to say, right? And then also, I think people like to brag, right?
100%.
You know? So you just ask, what do you do for a living? What do you do for fun? Do you have a family, right? And then as they're having these conversations about those three things, you try and catch something that's relatable to you.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, and that becomes a memorable conversation, because you'd be like, holy crap, you like that too? Yeah, I like it too. And then you start talking about that.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Man, I don't care who I'm talking to. And they're all strangers. I will find something to connect.
Yeah, you can find it
all the time.
You can find it
all the time. I'm like, that's one of my superpowers. Hey, what do you do for fun? Fun. This is the first thing they say. Fun. And if they have to think about it a long time, they work too much. Yeah, we already know that.
You switch it.
Yeah, but if they say, oh, fun, I like to do this, and I'm like, oh, that's the coffee cupper. That's the one that doesn't do shit at work and walks around with this coffee cup. Anyway.
So you analyzing everyone, breaking them all down.
I'm telling you. But that is a great point. People love to talk about themselves. But here's where I'm going to dovetail with you. Write down that personal information immediately. As soon as they walk away from you, open your phone. If you get a card from them, put it, like, if you get
business cards.
Yeah. No one really has physical business cards anymore. Yeah. They have the digital ones. But even so, if they have digital ones, right, as soon as you get back to your office, you write it down or whatever. Or if it's someone that it's in a social setting, you can write it in your phone right away. And I'm sure you guys do this, right? It's like, Bill met him at Cheesecake Factory at so-and-so's birthday on this date. And then here's some fun facts. Yeah. Like, just write down facts. Yeah. Next time you see that guy, look it up real quick and go, oh, hey, how was your daughter's soccer tournament last weekend? Or a month ago when we met?
So good.
And then they go, oh my God. She remembers. And you know why people love that? They love when you remember their name, and they love when you remember facts about them, because they think you prioritize them in your brain, which you did, but not in your brain, in your phone or wherever you wrote it down, right? It works every time.
It works every time.
I can't tell you how quickly I moved up the corporate ladder doing that.
Yeah. These conversations, the simple ones, they're money.
So money. And if you're at an industry event, or maybe you're at like someone's baby shower in the break room, take pictures.
Yeah, selfies. That's a good way too.
Hey, this is cool. Can I get a selfie with you?
Yeah.
And then they think, oh my God, they worship me. Okay, yeah, they want to, and you don't. You're just trying to get to know people. Yeah. Then you take a selfie. Yeah. Then you email it to them and you go, hey, it was great meeting you at the baby shower today. Or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. You can get their contact information and text them.
Yep.
Right when you leave. Hey, man, it was a great meeting.
Listen,
Can't wait to see you again.
I should be charging for this information. This is gold. I'm telling you, this works. I mean, this is gold. And then also dovetailing with that is like handwritten notes. It is a lost art, my friends. And you can ask our girls and our son every Christmas. Yeah. To this day, I always put a little box of note cards and or thank you cards or like a little box of mixed cards, blank ones, birthday cards, sympathy cards, whatever. They're always in their stocking because I always tell them, you never know who's going to really dig this, right? Everybody will dig it. Most people will dig it because no one handwrites notes anymore. Yeah. Right?
Lost art.
It's a lost art. For the holidays, right? Christmas, whatever you celebrate, I would always get cards for all my clients. And mind you, sometimes I had like 200, 250 clients at once. I would handwrite these notes and it would take me 2 weeks to do it because I'd do like 10 a day or, whatever a day. And I would handwrite every single one of them with a note in there, personalized to them. And I remember one of my assistants goes, like, you hand wrote all of these? Because I handwrite them and then I have her mail them, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, I was looking at them and they're all different. And I go, yeah, I know. And I'm telling you, that made me memorable to so many people. Yeah. So much so, I wrote a thank you, or I had a blank note card. I wrote, hey, congratulations to one of my clients. He wasn't a client at the time, but I wanted him to be my client. So I wrote a congratulations note because I watched him win an award at an event.
I remember this. Go ahead.
2 years after I gave that to him, I sent that to him. I said, hey, it was really great meeting you tonight. So excited for you winning that award. From everybody that I talked to, it was well-deserved, right? And I always put the date on there. That guy told me 2 years later and he pulled it out of his briefcase, his little satchel or whatever, and showed it to me. He said he kept it because he was going through a rough time at the time. I think there was a death in the family or something. And he was really down, but he had to go to this thing to get this award. Sure. And that note, like, lifted him up so much. And he said, this gave me so much confidence. And I've kept it with me and this is 2 years later. And I'm like, what? So my tactic in trying to win business and have someone remember me, it actually was very, very, the person who received it was very touched by it and kept it. 2 years later.
It's awesome. Memorable. Yeah. That's how you do it.
Yeah. So do you have any other tips for Sabrina?
No, just that simple one. The questions of what do you do for a living? What do you do for fun? Yeah. Family, married, kids, blah, blah, blah. So that's just simple. That works for me. Yeah. Because I don't want to overthink it. I don't want to think about it too much. Yeah. And then I can relate. Yeah. I grab a thing or two from all those and keep the conversation going. Yeah. No, that's perfect. Yeah, mine's, pretty much, it's very methodical. But one more thing I will say on that is if you are in corporate America and you're in the office, I always whenever I'm mentoring someone, I tell them, hey, if you want to be remembered and you want people to think that, hey man, first one in, last one out kind of thing, and that you're always top of mind when they're thinking about giving out projects or giving a promotion, is I like to tell them to walk the floors. Walk around, right? Talk to people in your office every day, and talk to the people you really want to get to know and get a promotion or whatever. Talk to them almost every day, and if you can, right? And this may not be for Sabrina, but is it Sabrina? Yeah. But for those of you who are watching this or listening to this on Spotify, that's another thing you can do too. Just make people know you. You know what I mean? So. All right, so moving on to the last one. We're going to make this one quick. This was submitted by Brielle, and she said, I'm not sure if this is the right way to request a topic for the pod, but I've really been taking what you two say to heart, and I wanted to reach out. I would really like to know what experience the two of you may have with getting out of your head. I keep finding myself in cycles of self-criticism, and that just fucking sucks. I've always been an overachiever. Hi, me too. And I feel like even now, that I'm actively working on myself constantly, and thank God it's showing. But the self-criticism seems to persist in new ways. So I appreciate you guys, and I'm sending love in these stressful days. What do you say about that? I know how you feel.
I know. By the way, you're in good company. Yeah. Overachievers unite.
Self-criticism unite.
Yeah. So we already talked about the self-criticism.
A little bit,
right?
Yeah, a little bit.
You got to ask yourself, are those things true?
Yeah.
And are you not being grateful, right?
Yeah.
For what you do have and the skill sets that you do have. You gotta focus in on those.
Yeah. You already admitted being an overachiever. That means you grind.
Yeah.
So it's in you. You know what I mean? That's like almost automatic. You know what I mean? So all, understanding that the self-criticism is that you're giving yourself is whether it's new or old, it still doesn't ring true. It's not true.
Yeah, exactly. And so let's get into because we got to make this quick.
Yeah.
I put down that you need to practice mindfulness. And I know this because good old Val, you guys know my therapist, Val, she's always reminding me to practice mindfulness and focus on the present. Because what we do as overachievers, Brielle, is we think about shit in the future, right? Or we ruminate things in the past, how we messed up in the past, how we may mess up in the future. You're overthinking it because you're an overachiever.
Yeah.
But being an overachiever, you need to practice mindfulness and focus on the present. So when you're feeling that and you're starting to be mean to yourself, you gotta take a deep breath and say, okay, hold on. I'm here right now. What am I feeling? And then you need to sit in that feeling and you need to think about, okay, is it true? Is this story serving me? Would I say this to my best friend? This
or
mean
my
stuff, or my kids, or whatever. I don't know if she has kids though. So you got to practice mindfulness. That keeps you in the present. Don't worry about the past. It's gone, girl. You're never gonna change it. Don't worry about the future because we can't unless you have a crystal ball and it works. You don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Stay in the present.
If you have that, we need to have a different conversation, girl.
Yeah. You need to run me your number. I have some numbers I want to ask you about in the lottery. Okay. And then, we were talking about challenging your negative thoughts, right? And then take a break, right? When those things start happening, say, hold on a minute, pause. Let's put a pin in this right now. And let me take a break and let me acknowledge my negative thought. Okay. I understand that I'm thinking about this, but again, are they true? Do they serve me? Blah, blah, blah. And then the other thing is, here's what I know. We joke about this all the time. You cannot be exercising and be negative at the same time.
No, it's kind of weird.
You know what? I challenge you. Try it. I want you to run on the treadmill until you're sweating your ass off and then think about, am I thinking anything negative? No, you're just trying not to die. Man, it snaps you out of it so fast. Right?
Fast. Yeah, so, I know that's so true for me.
Even if it's taking a walk around your neighborhood, take a break and say, put a pin in this. I'm going to go for a walk. Oh, man. Just getting outside too, again, or moving your body is going to help you with the self-criticism and help you get out of your head. And then the other thing is, and this is what I do, I journal my negative thoughts. And then you know what I do? I rewrite them. I rewrite those negative thoughts to positive thoughts.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I say, yeah, you know what? You messed up so bad and you dropped the ball on this and you're such a piece of shit, like get your shit together. Literally brain dump. And then look at it and go, God damn.
That's mean.
I just beat myself up. You keep beating yourself up, you're going to knock yourself out one of these days. You know what I mean? So then I rewrite them. And I said, hey, you know what? I tried and I missed a step, but that's okay. I learned from it. And I'm glad I'm writing this down. See how that works? I'm glad I'm writing this down. And I'm glad I experienced this because now this makes me more experienced. You see what I'm saying? So you journal your negative thoughts, then immediately rewrite them. Make sure you date everything too. Because here's what you're going to do. A month ago, or a month from now, you're going to go back and look and go, man, I've come a long way, baby. You know what I mean?
You're going to see all the negative thoughts that you had, and you're going to see how you got out of all of them. And then that's going to build confidence in you, and that's going to help you in the future hurdles you'll see or hear or hit or whatever.
And then the goal is how to manage these things,
that's
right?
It.
You got to manage and you got to self-regulate. And and you're already doing it. So high five because you're kicking out.
I was
you
just
said you're already, you're already working on yourself.
And you can see it.
Yeah.
So you know it works.
And guess what? By you saying, thank God it's showing, that means you're acknowledging, hey man, I put in a lot of work.
I know.
On myself.
Yeah, and it's working.
Yeah. High five.
Right.
But guess what? Now you have new problems. And guess what? It's never going to go away. No. You're just going to have, because the better you get, the different your
hurdles or obstacles.
You get a variety of different ones, right? Yeah. So
you're just learning.
They're learning moments, right? But it's so important when you when you write these down, and then you look at them, and you could even do it on a weekly basis. And what you'll start to see, because this is what happened to me, you start seeing less and less meanness. And then you say, damn, I kicked ass today.
You did. And then that switches the thought process, right? I wrote down here in my notes, because I wanted notes for this thing, affirmations.
Oh,
Affirmations are
huge.
Yeah. Telling yourself these affirmations. Oh.
Yeah.
And so when you start feeling in these dumps, you think about those affirmations, start saying them.
Yeah.
You know, saying them to yourself, because then the more you say them, like anything else, right? The more you talk about it, you start to believe it.
Yeah.
And then it starts to come true.
And if you don't know what an affirmation is, look it up.
Sure.
Like, it's basically saying things that you know are true of yourself, saying them out loud, or saying things that you want to happen, but you say them in the present tense. Right? So like, money flows freely and abundantly to me because I am a money magnet. And then you start doing that, and the universe starts opening up, and bam, you're like getting checks in the mail. You don't know where they're coming from.
Couple that with being a lot of gratefulness.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of joyfulness. Oh, you got it made.
Yeah. So, and again, you take them in baby steps, and but you're already working on yourself, so you get it. I know you're going to crush it.
You are.
What we're talking about. So getting out of your head will also help you get out of your own way, because a lot of times we have that imposter syndrome, or we don't give ourselves enough credit. Isn't that shitty?
I know.
We'll beat ourselves up verbally, right? And then when someone says, "Hey, great job," and you're like, "Yeah, well, I could have done better." Why do we believe?
You like block it.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear that.
You block all the blessings that are coming to you, man. Anyway, you get what we're talking about. And we're so proud of you for working on yourself.
Yes,
and we know you're going to crush this thing called life.
Yeah.
And remember to keep us updated.
Yeah.
Everybody that we talked about, like we read your advice or asking for advice question, please let us know how it's going.
Yeah. And we're proud of you for sharing.
Yeah.
We want to help.
Absolutely.
So this is the best way to do it.
That's right. Because we're your internet parents. And we're here to give you advice. You're not going to like it sometimes, but it will help, I promise.
Right.
Okay. Why don't you lead us out? Because that was it, guys, for today.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
We're going to close it out with our quote of the day. You're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think.
Bam. And that's from your internet parents. That is
You're
the Bible.
welcome.
That's a really great quote you pulled today.
It is good.
I love it. No, I love that. So that's it for us today, you guys. Episode 22. And we're going to do this every month. So when you watch this and you want more advice, please DM us and let us know. You can even put it in the comments if you don't mind people looking at it. And we would love to help all of you guys.
Yeah, and as always, we're not experts. We're basically speaking from personal experience.
I'm an expert.
I'm an expert in personal experience.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah, exactly. We're not therapists. Basically. That's what I think you were trying to say. Well, we are, but not licensed therapists. No, I'm just kidding. We are not therapists. Yeah. So, you guys, make sure you guys like, comment, and share, because we want as many people to see this as possible, because we just love helping people. Yeah. And we will see you on the flip side.
Appreciate you guys.
Bye. Love you.